Who is ready for Lou Diamond Phillips? Really? One more. Young Guns? Bamba? Longmire. Ladies and gentlemen, Lou Diamond Phillips. Nope. Lou. Photo. I thought we went over this. We should have blocked it.
Alrighty, so can I just be like, yeah, no, this was like a push through. I mean, I'm happy to do that too, but.
Choice. It's time.
Oh, we're actually on time?
We are on time.
Oh, that's crazy, man. Huh?
31.
Not always my
It was
thing.
the media guy.
The media guy. It's always the media guys. How you guys doing? You look very beautiful. Just got here early this morning. Thrilled to be back. Gorgeous city. Absolutely beautiful city. We filmed the Bats here. Yeah, believe it or not. Set in Texas, filmed in Utah. There you go. Yeah. Pretty cool.
Hollywood magic.
Indeed. You guys have changed your beer laws, I hope. So, yeah. Yeah, no?
You can get beer in the supermarket.
All you got is 3-2 beer?
No.
Oh, thank God.
Don't thank God. Thank Oklahoma. Oklahoma got us not 3-2 beer.
Oklahoma did it, huh? Well, they did something good then. All right. You
The
know.
one thing that Oklahoma has done. Welcome back
Good
to
to be back.
FanX. I know you've been.
Yeah.
Having fun yet?
Having lots of fun. I mean, it's always about the people, man. It's always about the fans. I've said this many times. These cons to me are like one big stage door. You know, whenever I've done theater, it's always wonderful to go out and meet people who have just experienced, you know, the same thing that you did. And you have that. That's something that's special to you. And when I meet people here that have seen, you know, films or television shows or even theater stuff that I've been in over the years, you know, it's something that we've shared and we actually have a chance to you know bond over it in person, which is pretty wonderful.
It is great. And don't forget, guys, if you have a question, feel free to line up in front of the mic, and we will get to you in a couple minutes. First, I have to get this out of the way. You're a military brat.
I am a military brat. Yeah, I was born in the Naval Air Station Subic Bay, the Philippines. Yeah, and traveled around like a couple of years in a different place, you know, throughout, you know, my life. Until we finally settled down in Corpus Christi, where there's a Naval Air Station there. Went to junior high, high school, and then went to college at the University of Texas at Arlington. So I'm a Texan by osmosis, hence the Oklahoma jokes.
Acceptable. I lived in Texas for 6 years.
Understood.
My first assignment was in Austin. So.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, once again, great town too. And the mayor of San Antonio, Military City, is a good friend, Mayor Ron Nirenberg. So always doing what I can to support our vets. Recently gave away a dinner at Tribeca Grill, which I co-own with Bobby De Niro. Bobby's one of the original. He's the original guy. He's the partner. He said, "Lou, I'm going to open up a restaurant." You're good. You're good.
As long as he's not cooking.
No, he's not cooking. He's just doing a lot of eating. It's all good. But at any rate, yeah, we gave away a dinner for Homes for Vets with Jake Tapper, who got me involved in that. And I just did. We'll be seeing him soon. A bunch of PSAs for our disabled vets. So whenever I can, you know,
as an Air Force retiree, thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's quick trivia.
Oh God!
True, false.
I didn't study.
No, it's all your trivia.
Oh, thank
So
God!
you should know the answers.
Kiefer Sutherland.
You worked at Whataburger.
Oh hell yeah! I didn't just work at Whataburger, sir. I was a crew chief. I was an employee of the month. I was a Whataburger Meister.
You met your wife
Uh-huh.
filming a Radio Shack commercial.
Indeed.
Radio Shack.
Well, I know. I wish they'd come back. Yeah, no, it's true. We met in Vancouver, Canada. My wife Yvonne. She was probably the premier hair and makeup artist there. What's so funny is that, I mean, I don't play guitar. I don't know if any of you know this. I only do it on TV. I literally had to learn all of the notes by rote for La Bamba in a week for 16 songs. And the same thing for the ranch. I played guitar on the ranch. The difference with the ranch is that's actually my voice singing. In La Bamba, it's David Hidalgo. But, God, what was the original point? The original point was the Radio Shack commercial was a Spanish language only, on the Spanish stations, which is why, very few people saw it. But I don't speak Spanish either, So I just acquire all these skills for the amount of time I need them to get by.
So one more. So yeah, you don't speak Spanish. You Filipino American.
Yes.
I saw a quote, and I can't get the exact quote. I couldn't find it, but you said something to the effect of, "You are not a native actor, but you have native heritage or genetics." Mm-hmm. And how does that, playing someone like Richie Valens, how does that affect your mindset to go into that? Because it's not necessarily your, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's interesting. Because I'm of mixed heritage, I said it in Easter Sunday, and this was an actual ad lib.
Oh, that's an unappreciated movie.
Yeah, I'm Scott Irish, but did Mel Gibson put me in Braveheart? No.
Oh, that's a missed opportunity.
But and I got Scandinavian. I mean, I'm part Viking. I look damn good in a kilt too. But from my early age and being in the military, military brat and moving around, I never sort of, felt like I was part of one community other than the military community. And when I became an actor, in theater, I was doing everything. I was doing, comedy and drama and the classics like Shakespeare or Moliere and, modern day, dramas like, Mamet or whatever. And so I learned to build complete characters and to do that sort of research, and I applied that to my film work as well. And being ambiguous brown, I ended up, especially in the 80s and 90s, representing a lot of marginalized communities and trying to do it with a great deal of respect and pride. And so whenever I was, able to represent a Native community, and I just literally had someone at the table say, "Thank you for, my representation of indigenous peoples," because I try to get it right. For Henry Standing Bear and Longmire, I flew myself on my own dime to, the Lame Deer Reservation in Montana, to meet with the elders, to do ceremony, to go to the high schools. With Richie and his family, I spent probably every day with them, and got their endorsements. So for me as an actor, I mean, first of all, it's just my job. But second of all, my heart is in the roles that I play, and I do them, and I try to treat them with respect, especially if they are representing, a people's way of life and their culture. And I want to get it right, And I've done an amazing amount of true life films, like La Bamba or Stand and Deliver, or the 33 about the Chilean miners, So for me, no, Metal Tornado was not a true story. Fortunately. But I sure liked Ottawa. I was just there. They got good beer. Are we seeing a trend? But anyway, yeah, I hope that answers your question about how I approach the roles and how I've been honored, to play those roles. And as a result, I was actually adopted into a couple of Native nations. I've been adopted into the Lakota Nation and the Cheyenne Nation as well.
That's very cool. The last piece of trivia.
Yes.
Yeah. You were also dubbed an honorary Latino.
Yeah, I'm Latino adjacent, bro. But I mean, once again, back in the day, man, I marched with Cesar Chavez. I fasted with him. Many people don't know this, but Filipinos are the second demographic in the United Farm Workers Union. So, we, especially in this day and age, folks, and not to get too high on the platform here, but we need to be allies to each other. We need to look out for each other. We can get into tribalism and look after our concerns only. I think we as Americans, need to look out for each other and every one of the communities, and take your needs into consideration with my needs. I think it's an important thing.
100%, 100%. Let's go to a question from Mr. Metal Tornado.
Okay, I have a question for you. What was it like working on Metal Tornado with the actors, especially that teenage son and that father who worked in the lavatory and the Metal Tornado in Paris? What was that like filming? Making that film.
First of all,
on YouTube.
the kid who played my son, it was ridiculous. He got into an accident the first week of filming. They had to write him out of scenes, and they brought him back at the end to pick up 3 or 4 scenes so that at least it made sense. It really sucked because it was a big opportunity for him, and I think he went drinking again. Here we go. We went drinking with some friends in Ottawa and fell down an embankment and died. Just ridiculous.
Children.
Yeah, he had to heal up before he came back. But I mean, I get asked this question a lot about sci-fi, and I love doing sci-fi. But whether it's like Supernova, that I did with Angela Bassett and James Spader, and oh my, it went right on my head. Or Stargate Universe. It's always strange, and I always get asked questions about the process, and guys, the process is so crazy, because you're going to stand there and you're going to stand in front of a green screen, and they're going to go, okay, there's this big storm coming and all this stuff is blowing around and there's nothing there. And you got you got to do all this acting, and you got to commit to the bit, I like to call it. But if the special effects end up being bad, you end up looking really stupid. And one of my first nights when I realized that, and you guys didn't see Ed Wood, where Martin Landau played Bela Lugosi.
Oh, that's
right?
great.
Amazing, fantastic. I'm in Magna. Anybody here know where Magna is?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, there you go. So we were filming Bats on Main Street in Magna, Utah, on the day of the Magna Day Parade with Miss Magna, the whole 9 yards, man. And so, we're filming, and everybody hung out. So at 2 in the morning, the director, Louis, a wonderful guy. I mean, I think he really elevated the film quite a lot, as did George, the cinematographer. He comes up and he goes, okay, here, you got a clip. Boom, you got 13. And by the way, there's only one real bat in that entire film. Everything else is CGI and puppets. No real bats in that movie. So he goes, okay, they're swarming Main Street. Everywhere you shoot, don't worry, you're not going to miss. You will hit a bat. All right? So empty the clip, but one is going to get in your hair, and then you're going to dive down, you're going to roll under the pickup truck, and you're going to shoot some more of them, and just empty the clip, okay?
Hollywood magic.
Hollywood magic. So there we are, and now meanwhile, there's 500 people who were there for the Magna Day Parade. And they're watching this, and I'm standing there all alone like a one-man show in the middle of Main Street, and and action. Right? And when we finished, I crawled out from under the truck, and all of the people there, standing ovation. It was wonderful, and I felt like Martin Landau's Bela Lugosi wrestling a rubber octopus. I was like, I'm a grown-ass man, and this is what I do for a living.
But they pay you.
Very well.
And there's beer.
At that time, no. Not so much.
Not in Magna. No.
Not so much.
Thank you.
I am a huge Longmire fan.
It is a beautiful day at the Red Pony and continual soiree.
Worth the price of admission just for that, wasn't it?
Could you tell me your favorite story from shooting Longmire?
Oh my. There's so many. I became very, very tight with that cast. Love that cast quite a lot. And I just saw Katie. I did her podcast 2 weeks ago, and hear from Rob every once in a while. I mean, and I'm very much in touch with Greg Johnson still, the author of the books. I have a book coming out November 19th, which is a sequel to The Tinderbox. Thank you. And Craig was instrumental in helping me write the first one and encouraging writing the second one. Okay, so third season, I think it is. Third season, and we shot this in Santa Fe, New Mexico. People don't realize the high desert, the operative word there is high, okay? As well, you guys well know, you're in Utah. So it's in Santa Fe, New Mexico, what is it, about 7,700 feet, altitude, whatever. We're coming from, frickin', ocean level, Los Angeles. And they scheduled this fight scene with me and Robert Taylor. Literally the first week that I'm there, and it's Chris Chulak directing, and it's the big fight scene on that runway out in the middle of nowhere with A. Martinez, Night Horse's plane coming in, and I'm trying to keep him from killing Night Horse, right? First of all, I'm 6 foot tall, okay? I am the tallest young gun. Look carefully, folks. They put me on the shortest horse, and I'm always standing in the back, and it's not an ethnic thing. Look at the frickin' poster. You can't see the bottom of my feet. They lowered me like Lord Farquaad to be level with everybody, So I'm used to being a tall guy in Hollywood. The freaking Longmire cast, Rob's like 6'3", 6'4". Bentley Chase was 6'2". And even Bartley is like a little taller than me. So all of a sudden, I'm freaking Hervey Villachez on Fantasy Island. And so we're doing this fight scene, and Rob is solid. He's like wrestling a freaking oak tree. And it's a fight scene, and I'm thinking, okay, well, we'll break it up. We'll do, a couple of punches. No. Chris Chulak has to do it from top to bottom the entire time. Every take, top to bottom. I can't even bend his arm back. And it's killing me, man. And Chris, oh my God, Chris Howell was our stunt coordinator, and he's C. Thomas Howell's dad, from The Outsiders. Real cowboy. He comes up to me after like take 6 and goes, you want some oxygen? Oh, no, I'm trying to be all tough. I used to smoke at the time. I no longer smoke. Cigars, which I, little brandy, little scotch. At any rate, I said, no, I'm trying to be a tough guy. And he took one look at me. He goes, oh, no, you're going to get some oxygen. And that's like the first time I've ever.
Always trust the stunt guy.
Always trust the stunt guy. Yeah.
He gets paid so you don't die.
Yeah.
Is how that works. Thank you.
Thanks for your question,
One
sir.
second. Speaking of Robert Taylor, the great Walt Longmire, it is so weird. Did he break character between takes and become English again?
In the first season, because he's Australian, he lives in Melbourne.
Sorry, Austria.
You get his flat Australian thing going then, like between takes, I reckon that was all right, Lou. Yeah, And I started doing that shit back to him. Yeah. And he was like,
he is bigger than you, right? We've established. Okay, just check.
Quite a bit. And he just realized about halfway through the first season, he just dropped it. When he showed up in Santa Fe, he would just drop the Aussie and let that go, so that he wouldn't like slip into it in between takes and whatnot. So he just talked like this, the entire time he was here. Kind of put on his Clint Eastwood filter,
That's awesome. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so first off, one of your movies that isn't discussed enough is Disorganized Crime.
Well, thank you.
So I love that one. But my question is, other than acting, I know you've done cooking things such as Celebrity Cook-Off and whatnot with like Rachel Ray. I know you know Joey Fatone and all that. What is your favorite thing to cook and why? And why is it so special?
Wow. Okay, multi-layered answer here. First of all, I'm going to see Joey. What is this? The 26th. I'm going to see Joey next weekend.
He's fantastic.
I think it's a surprise, but if you got anybody in Orlando, Florida, I'm going to be popping up on stage with Joey to do a couple of tunes.
Sweet.
So might be one of those Spanish, here's a bit of a rattlesnake songs.
Hopefully Orlando is still there.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's that. I think it's going to miss it, though.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, right. But yeah, I'll be down at Epcot Center next weekend. And so I love Joey. And yes, I love cooking. And I think that's how they figured out, to have me on. And I've judged Iron Chef a couple of times and everything else. I tend to love things, and there's no one specific dish, and that's one of the reasons why I won, is because I cook a lot of different cuisines. But I tend to love something that is going to be, first of all, take up all day to do, and that, is going to feed, a posse of people. I just love that. On Longmire, I would cook Sunday dinner probably every 2 weeks for, 20, 25 people in the cast and crew. And so Michael Offer, who was one of our favorite directors, every time he would come, first question out of his mouth, "What are we cooking, Lou?" Lasagna, I do, my turbo ribs were award-winning on that show. It just, a lot of stuff like that, so I changed it up.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
I have watched you for decades, loved you in Prodigal Son.
Thank
Thought
you.
it was like the best.
I was so heartbroken when they canceled that.
I was
was,
pissed.
yeah. Well, I was surprised. I
Me
was
too.
really, really surprised. I was literally, and they approved a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
What network approves a cliffhanger then cancels
one.
you?
That one.
What network was that?
Fox!
Yeah.
That is your answer.
Exactly. And
Wow.
so, for sure, I think we're getting a third season.
Yeah.
The big question was whether Michael would come back, which is why they left it that way, because Michael wasn't sure.
Right.
All right. So I'm literally getting on the plane to go film Easter Sunday in Vancouver. And this is ridiculous because it's a cameo in the movie. I play myself. I filmed for 2 days, but during the pandemic, I had to quarantine for 2 weeks. I had to go and stay in a little hotel room for 2 weeks to film for 2 days. And as I'm getting on the plane, I got a call from Chris Fedak, the executive producer, and I'm totally like, "Hey, Chris, when are we going to work?" Because I think that's what the call is all about. Okay, we're going to be back at the end of July, blah, 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 blah. And there's a pause, and he goes, "Lou, they canceled." He says, "Oh, that's hilarious, dude. Seriously. When are we going to work?" He goes, "No, seriously, they canceled us." So, yeah, that was heartbreaking.
Fox.
Yeah, that's one F word.
Yeah, but I interrupted your
Oh,
question.
no, that's okay. So I had two, but I'm going to say this one first. Who is a coworker that you just really miss? Like if you wanted to call somebody, you're in that town, you want to call them up and go for drinks. Him or her?
Okay. After Disorganized Crime, by the way, if Fred Gwynn found out I was in New York without calling him, he would track me down and skin me. I love that man. We became very, very dear friends. Loved him dearly. Kiefer, I run into him all the time. So it's always like, hey, what's he up to? What's interesting though is, I travel so much. A lot of times, it's more about the friends that I have outside the industry. That I'll call. I was just down in Corpus Christi, my old hometown. Went and shot pool with 2 guys I've known since junior high, and we've stayed tight and stayed close. That's a 50-year relationship, which is ridiculous. So it's mostly folks like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You bet.
Yes, sir.
All right, so I used to live in the Philippines, and I don't think this audience knows how important you are to the Filipino people.
Thank you.
And when I saw you on the Cleaning Lady episode,
Yeah.
I saw quite a bit, and I was wondering, did you think your popularity increased from doing that portrayal as a Filipino?
What's interesting is I think there's just more awareness. And by the way, it's a fantastic question.
Yeah.
But the fact, and I'm going back and I'm directing another episode of Cleaning Lady in November.
Oh, nice.
So back to Albuquerque. And thrilled with the diversity that we have on that show. What we're seeing now is more representation. Long ago, the only time I ever got to play Filipino was I wrote a movie called Ambition. And I wrote myself as Filipino American to cast the amazing Dr. Hang S. Noor, who was Cambodian as my father. But that's why I ended up representing so many other different groups, because they weren't writing movies about Filipino Scott Irish dudes. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So then all of a sudden things shifted a little bit. Believe it or not, there was an episode on Prodigal Son where we were going to reveal that Gil Arroyo is actually Filipino. And I chose the name. I gave them a list of names, and the name Arroyo was actually because I'd been to the Philippines in 2004 brought over for the work that I did for the Filipino war veterans in trying to get their benefits back. And I was given a lovely citation from the then president, Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. So there was a little nod to her in that name. But, you know, Easter Sunday, that, an animated show called Firebuds where I play, you know, I voice the dad who's a Filipino fireman. You know, we're seeing more specific representation these days. And so, you know, I'm able to be a little bit more visible for that community. Meanwhile, thank goodness, while still sort of, you know, representing, you know, other communities as well.
The ambiguous brown.
Yeah. Well, I used to say it's like the UPS motto, you know, what can brown do for you?
All right. And then I just have a follow-up. What time are we going drinking tonight?
Who says I haven't already started?
All right. I got a credit card with no limit. Let's go.
I know when Kiefer was here, he didn't wait.
If Kiefer was here,
He
yeah.
did not wait.
No, he didn't. And you can always tell when he's a little into it, because all of a sudden his Scottish would come out and he'd start talking like, I love you. Let's go get on a horse.
I want to take one just real quick, if I may. 1 second. I checked IMDb real quick, and I couldn't help but notice that your first 3 credited roles on IMDb are thug, street thug. It's a step up. Richie Valens. So you're 87.
Yeah.
You know, La Bamba, Stand and Deliver, Young Guns.
Yeah.
It's like, so you went from thug
Yeah.
to Jesus, he's everywhere.
Yeah, right?
What did that do to you? What was that like? What did you wake up one morning and just be like,
You know, I have 2 stories to tell about that, actually, and I'm so glad you brought that up. No, it's funny. When I was living in Dallas, and that's where I started my film career, and being an ethnic actor in Dallas, you know, once again, ambiguous brown, most of my auditions were for thug, street thug. I used to keep a switchblade and a red bandana, you know, in my car, because it's like, oh, another audition? Ready? You, man! You know? Yeah, no, I terrorized Linda Gray in the season opener of Dallas, and she was so kind to me and became such a good friend. And when La Bamba came out, she goes, I knew you were going places. What a classy, wonderful lady. And I directed Patrick Duffy in Love Takes Wing, and he was such a wonderful man. I got to be good friends with Larry, you know, so it was, yeah, it was quite the experience. So yeah, I land La Bamba out of Dallas, Texas. They fly me out for a screen test. It's craziness. And 2 stories. Number 1, we did a premiere in Watsonville with all the farm workers. And Helen Mirren is the wife of Taylor Hackford, who's our executive producer and directed the 2nd unit and, you know, all of the above. And after the premiere, Isai and I got mobbed. Literally, you know, shirt ripping, hair pulling mobbed. And we get to the back of the restaurant where we're having this reception, and I sit down next to Helen Mirren, brilliant, amazing lady. And I went, oh, God, maybe one of these days I'll get used to this. And she went, oh, no, dear boy. Don't get used to it, because then you'll think it's normal. And the other one is that I was with Danny Valdez the Thursday before La Bamba opened, and we were kind of having a couple of beers. We were seeing a trend. And he says to me, he goes, we're giving you the keys to the candy store. Don't rot your teeth. You know? So, I mean, but fortunately I was already 24, 25 years old, and you know, I'd grown up in Texas to a military dad. So I kind of knew what was what and was not going to get too full of myself, thank God.
did Dad keep you straight?
Oh, Dad kept it totally real, always, you know. Boy, now he is. He grew up in North Carolina and lives in Texas, and he talks like this. Well, you did all right, I guess. Shut up. We're going fishing.
There you go. Yeah. Thanks, Dad. Sir, I'm sorry.
¿Cómo está, Po?
Hey, thank you, brother. Good.
Huge Stargate fan. I love the character that you did in Stargate Universe. Watched it so many times, enjoyed it so much. I heard a boo. But I have my wife here with me today. My wife is from Subic Bay, born and raised.
Hey, how are you?
And we're actually going back there in June.
Oh, nice.
So it's going to be my first time there. I was wondering if you could tell us anything that you remember from Subic and Olongapo.
Oh my! Well, first of all, it's just beautiful, and it's been far too long since I've been back, and I know that There's some people trying to get me over there now for like a film festival and some stuff, and we'll see if I have the time. But it's just, once again, the people are so ridiculously friendly, such warm, kind, compassionate people who love to laugh and love to smile. And I'm sure they saw all these mics and thought we were here for karaoke. It's
Yes.
And Filipinos can sing. Let me tell you that right now. I saw Arnell, who's the lead singer for Journey now, and holy moly, boy, that man can sing, and so much energy, so just crazy. It's a beautiful country. Get out to the beaches if you can. I have such amazing memories because I was born there, left, went back from 70 to 74, so spent some formative years there. So yeah, and I cook a mean adobo and a mean pancit, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah, Filipinos are the best. Absolutely.
They love to eat.
Yes, indeed.
Hi.
Hi.
Me and my family are big Psych fans.
Yay.
Can you tell us about how your character and how you came to be on Psych and how it was and why you took your shirt off so much, stuff like that?
Are you complaining
I was about to say.
Are you complaining about that part?
No.
I'm just checking.
I took it off once, but I might have seemed like a lot more to you.
In her
Especially
brain,
when you keep freeze framing it.
Just saying. Yeah.
I'm always a little amazed when I get a random call, especially for comedy, and almost always I'll say yes to a comedy without even reading the script, because it's actually what I cut my teeth on. My first professional gig ever was with a sketch comedy group called the 0 Hour in Fort Worth, Texas. We would do, like really raunchy Saturday Night Live skits in a punk bar at midnight. Zeros in Fort Worth. And if you weren't funny, they threw shit at you. So, it was a good training ground. But Psych, it was just, once again, it's like, there was a friend of the producer, it's like, does Lou do comedy? He's like, well, yeah. And, the character was, like really sort of, straight-faced. A bit like the character that I did on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which I loved as well.
I'm rewatching that now. So.
Okay, well, you'll come across my guy.
Okay.
I like my ramen, my soups. Beef, baby. Picante beef, street flavors, So it always cracks me up when somebody requests me. And I'm Emmy nominated for comedy, so that's fine. But both of those experiences were similar because James Roday and Andy Samberg are given carte blanche to ad-lib. And so they're doing something new every take. I don't think I got through a single take on either one of those shows. They had me in stitches, and I'm supposed to be the straight guy.
Right.
It's just so much fun and so funny, and I'd do it again in a heartbeat. I will be recurring on a new HBO comedy. We haven't started filming yet. It's called The Chair Company. Tim Robinson is the lead on that. He's just fantastic. So I think we're going to start filming in the spring.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hi! Yes, it's very tall. There we go.
Got it.
Would you sing La Bamba with me?
Did you say with you?
Yes.
With you. All right. Come here. We're going to do the first. Come here.
She's only getting away with this because she is adorable. Nobody else try this.
What's your name? Everly. Do you have brothers? I was just wondering.
Ew.
Thank you. Somebody got the joke. Thank you.
I'm old. I got it.
All right, you ready? Okay. Here's a bit of a rattlesnake. 1, 2, 3. Para la bamba. Para la bamba se necesita una poca de gracia. Una poca de gracia para ti. Ay, arriba y arriba. Ay, arriba y arriba. Por ti seré. Por ti seré. Por ti seré.
Nobody else is that adorable.
Cute girls, the bane of my life. I'm a girl daddy.
Oh, first world problems, isn't it?
Okay. This is a question for my grandma at the end of the row. She's a huge fan, and it's really simple. She just wants to know where your favorite place you filmed was.
Oh my. I've been to a number of them that I absolutely adore, and a lot of them are considered like vortexes. You know, just energy. They tend to be very spiritual. Santa Fe is one of them. You know, filmed not only the Longmire series there, but both Young Guns 1 and 2. And maybe 3. And so
Not so Young Guns.
Yeah, there's rumors floating around. So I love Santa Fe. Cape Town, South Africa. I did a miniseries called The Triangle there, and a shark movie called Red Water. I actually went on shark cage dives twice, closer to a 15-foot great white than you and I are right now. So that's crazy. I live in New York City now, so I have a very soft heart for New York. After Prodigal Son got canceled, my wife and I, we just decided to stay there because it's kind of a cool place. But yeah, no, I've been very, very fortunate, and wherever I've filmed adds to my life experience. Like being on top of a glacier for Agaguk, for Shadow of the Wolf, and just shy of the Arctic Circle. Filming up in Iqaluit, Northwest Territories. So a lot of these places that I've gone, I've come to love and keep wonderful memories from them. Bogota, Colombia, where we did the 33, and the Atacama Desert down in Chile. Just amazing experiences. You bet. Thank you.
Okay. We all have our favorite TV shows that have favorite theme songs. Like, I can name a billion. If Lou Diamond Phillips had a theme song, what would it be?
Wow.
I can tell you mine.
Oh, sure.
I get by with a little help from my friends.
You know what? That's a go-to for my life, 100%. Love that. I'm still standing, yeah. That's a good one too. But yeah, and I used to love those theme songs, man. You know what I mean?
I played the Fall Guy for my son last night. He's never heard it before.
Of course
He's
not.
watched La Bamba, and he teases me because my name is Donna, and like my entire life, everybody has sung that song to me horribly. Mm-hmm. So now he teases me and sings it to me.
There you go. That word. Oh, Donna. Nice.
Thank you.
You bet.
Yes, sir.
I don't really have a question. I just have a couple of comments.
Okay.
Thank you for being so personable. A few minutes ago, that was awesome. And because I am a U.S. Army combat veteran, thank you so much for supporting veterans.
Always, sir. Always. Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Lou, Disorganized Crime is one of the most underrated comedies of all
Thank
time.
you.
And I wanted to know, when Nick steals a car and you run out, I think you know where I'm going with this.
Uh-huh.
When you trip on the fence, and you don't break character, is there a story behind that, or
There
did you roll
is.
with it?
I was young and stupid.
Did it involve beer?
What's that?
Did it involve beer?
No, fortunately not. I usually wait till closing time.
Usually.
When you clock out. I wanted to do it. They were setting up the one shot. I looked. I thought, oh, that'd be funny. And I was doing. They cut some other slapstick stuff that I did in the film. I don't know why, but that was one of the problems with it. Yeah, it was interesting because we had Jim Kalf was our director, but our producer, his name just escaped me, but he had done Stakeout with Emilio. They didn't know what tone to settle on. It was crazy. So I was either doing really slapstick stuff or really more like heist stuff, and they couldn't find the marriage to it.
Yeah.
But at any rate, I intended to do that.
Wow.
And I put on pads. I put on knee pads and elbow pads under my costume, and one take. It ran down, and then Fred Gwynn and I think it's Ruben, go running back up with me. Did that, did the stunt, got back up, And once they yelled cut, Fred told me, I thought you broke your fucking neck. And Jim Calf, the director, comes running and he goes, you okay, you okay? And I showed him the pads and I went, no, I meant to do that.
Wow.
And he went, whoa, it was great.
The stunt guy was so proud of you.
Yeah, you know, and it made all the trailers, you know.
They weren't expecting it either.
They were not expecting
Incredible.
Yeah.
So
No.
professional.
it. Thanks, man. You bet, brother. My pleasure, man.
I just want to say hi and thank you.
Hey.
Can you say hi to my friend Lugo? He's in the hospital. He was trying to come, but he didn't make it.
Sure, man. Are we on video now?
No, yeah, I'm gonna record and send it to him.
Yeah, go ahead, do it, man. What's his name?
Jared Lugo?
Jared Luco. Jared, he's in the hospital?
Yeah.
Jared, come on, dude. Seriously. You know, we're all here. You couldn't make it. Oh, the hospital. Oh, I gotta go to the hospital. All right, sure. Whatever, buddy. Feel better, get better. Everybody say get better to Jared.
Get better.
All right, brother. Peace.
Thanks.
You bet. Thank you. There you go.
Ma'am? I am not messing with this mic. I was 8 years old and I watched a movie on Disney Channel called Dakota.
Yay.
And not only did I fall in love with the movie, but I thought you were one of the most beautiful humans I had ever seen.
Oh, you're so sweet. Me and my mullet.
That has never changed. You have been in so many things that I have loved, including obviously Stargate, Longmire, Wolf Lake, that I'm still sad about.
Yeah, me and you both.
You were a bucket item person for me to be able to meet and say thank you. But it makes me wonder what your bucket list, either role or person, you've met so many amazing people. But
I have. And you know, I've learned there's certain things that I would like to do. I'd like to go back on Broadway. I'd like to direct, you know, a big film. And by big, when I think big, God, give me 20 million, give me 30 million. You know, all the films I've done have been like, you know, $1 million, $2 million. I don't need to do a Marvel kind of thing. That's not on, you know, my radar. But I want to continue what I'm doing. And there's certain people that I wish I had met, or, you know, I didn't get the chance. You know, I mean, I'm partners with De Niro in the restaurant, but I've never worked with him. You know, sadly, I don't think Jack Nicholson's going to be making many more films. So I won't get the chance to work with Jack. Or I should say, Jack will get the chance to work with me. You know, Meryl Streep. I mean, there are some people that I'm just over the moon with. And I think back on, you know, there's some of the people that when I first started, was there a chance? The Katharine Hepburns, the Peter O'Tooles of the world, you know. One of my great joys was that I got to play poker around, and God rest him, he's gone now, a man named Norby Walters would have all the old cats. You know, and I was the kid, which was amazing. Even when I was 50, I was still the kid. But, you know, you had Ed Asner and, oh my goodness, like Charles Grodin was there, and Harvey Keitel, and Rod Steiger, and Charles Durning, I mean, James Garner. I mean, I played poker with all these guys. And the one thing that was similar with all of them is that they were just working actors. They were journeyman actors. They never set out to be stars, but they became them. And they were, you know, they were always about, hey, you working? And that's all they needed to know. They didn't care how much you were getting paid or how big the movie was or whatever. Are you a working actor? And there was, with as much star power as there was around that table, there was a lot of humility, which was always really instructive for me.
well, I hope you know you belong in that list of the actors you just named.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for
100%.
giving us our dream.
Let me tag on that real quick. Stand and Deliver, Edward James Olmos. The great Edward James Olmos. Quick sidebar. I spent 15 minutes talking to him at a con. He will talk about anything.
Oh yeah.
Pick a subject
And he
at
can.
random. And he can. If you ever get the opportunity, take the time.
Yeah.
It's funny because it feels like he's been exactly the same from Stand to Deliver to now.
Yes.
He was born that age, and he will die that age. But it's second movie, I guess.
It was my second movie in Hollywood. And the funny thing is, I got paid $6,000 for La Bamba, scale. Yeah. And I know. And I gave half of that to my mother. So come December of, Real Richie would have. So come December of 86, I'm almost out of money. I'm gonna have to move back to Texas. And I land a guest spot on Miami Vice in an episode called Red Tape. And in that episode, Viggo Mortensen is my partner and Annette Bening is the girlfriend of the bad guy. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Well, that job doesn't suck.
Yeah. And so I had one scene with Eddie. Eddie had done Zoot Suit with the Valdez brothers, Danny and Luis Valdez. So he knew I had played Richie, and he knew that the movie was coming out. It had not come out yet. As a matter of fact, it wouldn't come out until August of 87. And after we do a scene together in Miami, he says, Lou, what are you doing next month? Well, nothing. You want to have lunch? You know? And he goes, no, I'm doing this movie. Very important movie. Yeah, you have to be in it. Yeah, I want you to be in this with me. And he gives me a number, and it's the director, Ramon Menendez. And when I get back to Los Angeles, I call him and we meet, and that's how I ended up in Stand and Deliver. So, that was...
You hit my question, you called him Eddie. Everyone calls him, what did you call him on set?
Oh,
Eddie. We're not, really, is that?
Yeah.
Because that
Eddie.
seems like the kind of guy he is. That's why.
Yeah, it's very true.
Okay, we have 5 minutes, so we got a few more questions.
Yeah.
Go for it.
How did you like your time on set in Fear the Walking Dead?
Oh my gosh, I loved it. First of all, a huge fan. And to be able to direct an episode was great. We shot it down in Austin, Texas. Got to do such cool stuff. I mean, I was excited to go to work every day. I will tell you this, young man, if you're ever directing in Texas or in the summer here in Utah or in the summer in New Mexico, Gold Bond powder is your friend. I learned things about parts of my body that I didn't need to know. I didn't know how far up chafe could reach.
All the way up. And then some, I think. Wait, let's go.
Hi, big fan. Especially in your early years, where it seems like you had a lot of more cockier roles. So, in the Big Hit, how did you like working with Mark Wahlberg and Bo Keem?
Let me tell you something. Big Hit is one of my favorite roles of all time.
Yeah, I love it.
It's all about love, baby. Just crazy. I mean, Che Kirk Wong, our director, and John Woo was our executive producer. Just one of the first Hong Kong action films done in North America. And what was strange about it, it was a Hong Kong hip-hop black comedy. Nobody knew what to do with it. I mean, people get it now, but in 97, they were like, what the hell is this? And Kirk would just let me, Lou, you be funny today. They're like, well, I'm killing people. Yeah, I know, you be funny.
Do it funny.
Yeah.
Make it funny.
Make it funny. So, yeah, and then every once in a while, I could hear him from the monitor go, too much, come back.
Thank you.
Yeah. You bet, brother.
One more question.
My question has to do with the big head as well.
Yeah.
Your wielding of the knife.
Yes.
How long did that learn?
Okay, well, here's the beauty of feature films, which is different than television. You get a little advance notice, okay? So, first Young Guns. I say put rings on the Bowie knife. Never seen anybody do that. So I thought if those guys are gonna twirl guns, I'm gonna twirl a knife. Second Young Guns, I said, John Fusco came up with the idea of the bolo knife, two-bladed, right? And I'll show you. I said to the prop guy, Peter Bankins, that I'd already worked with on the first one, I said, build it the length and weight of a drumstick so that I could practice at home with both hands. And that's what I did. When we got to set, the metal one was the right weight and length. The plastic ones were too light, they wouldn't twirl. So I had to use the real ones the entire time, and every time there's a couple of nicks here where I would, I would nick myself. So Big Hit comes along, and they go, "We want you, with knives again," and I'm like, yeah, I thought, what else can I do? And I worked with a wonderful trainer, still a very dear friend of mine, Daryl Chan, who was introduced to me by my dear friend Brandon Lee. He introduced me to Daryl for training. I introduced him to Jeff Cadiente, who doubled him. So we were all really tight. And it was Daryl who said, go Filipino style, man. Go blades inside, And I thought, okay, if I put the rings on the back of the knife instead of on the hilt, then I could twirl them in the end and do all that, really cool stuff that we did. And so I'm the one who came up with all of that. And the funny thing is the Chinese stunt guys they brought over from Hong Kong had to learn how, and anytime
You had to train the stunt guy.
I did. And anytime there were close-ups of the hands, they would have to, I'd have to do it because the other guys hadn't gotten it down yet.
Awesome. Well, thank you. We're out of time. Thank you for coming. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you, guys. I'll be here all weekend.